morning to you too. This video is not scripted. It's kind of weird for me. I don't have anything to read off of. But just a couple thoughts I have. I'm going to call this a quick thought or something like that about Street Fighter's World Tour mode. So overall, I think the World Tour mode is sort of a big missed opportunity. I think it was promised to be like a really extensive single player aspect of the game, which is good because single player gets new players in the door, and it's something for them to do if they don't want to go online and get their ass beat like 10 times in a row. But I think they kind of dropped the ball in a lot of places. So I'm just going to go into bullet points. The RPG elements of it are really frustrating. So maybe I should explain it first. So basically, in World Tour mode, you walk around as your little custom character. You walk around these sort of open world areas, I guess you could call them. You punch NPCs, you talk to them, you do things, you have an entire storyline, all that, yada yada. Excuse me. And throughout it, you level up and you get new equipment, you get clothing, stuff like this to sort of boost your character. It's a way for new players to feel stronger without actually getting better at the game. When you play a fighting game, you don't get better through leveling up. Like in the game, you don't do more damage, your combos don't do more. You have your toolkit, and the only way to get better is to get good at the game. Adding like an RPG element to a fighting game, it just kind of screws with the entire idea of why you're playing a fighting game in the first place. And I think it's really frustrating, especially because of the damage the NPCs do. They have a really low difficulty setting. They do very simple stuff. They don't do any like good block strings. They're really easy to hit. Like on wake up, you can just punch them and they'll get hit, or throw them if you really want to, but you can probably just hit them. I'll probably put up some display of some despicable fucking stuff I was doing. So basically they said, okay, well, if we make the difficulty setting so low so the NPCs don't really put up much of a fight, when they do hit you, it's gotta fucking hurt. And I think that is really damaging to how the game plays, because it incentivizes doing scrubby shit over just playing the game normally. And if you're trying to make a mode that will introduce people to the genre, it's really frustrating to feel like you have to commit to this really scrubby thing that wouldn't actually work in like normal gameplay. And then as soon as they like not accidentally, but they get like one hit on you and it does like a fifth of your health. So I'm sitting here doing my thing for like an hour because it takes so long because I do so little damage. And then they get like one hit on me and then I lose like a fifth of my health. Basically what I'm saying is the damage is too high on the NPC side and you have too low damage. And it gives this really skewed risk reward on how much damage you do and how much damage they do. And it makes players funneled into doing something really cheesy. And it doesn't teach you how to play the game. Let's say you beat the World Tour mode. I haven't beat it yet. But let's say you do. You're not going to get there through actually getting better and learning about, I don't know, doing your foozies, doing your cool mix-ups or blocking really well or like drive impacting and stuff like that. All stuff that you would have to do if you're going to get to a high rank in the game. Be good at the game. You're not going to be better at the game at the end of it. You're just going to have grinded out more and increase your level so high that you just kill everything in your path. And I think that's not good on the player side, and I think it's disappointing. Not incentivizing what makes Street Fighter fun in the first place in one of your main modes is a really bad look, because what's fun about World Tour mode usually is just like, I just like punching people. It doesn't really make you fall in love with the system of the game, which is what you're probably going to like, because Street Fighter is a really fun game. But if you have an entire mode dedicated to the main menu, it's one of the 3 main modes you can do, and you're not even bringing out the stuff that's fun about the game, I think it's a big problem. You're not making players delve into the mechanics of how the game works, and I think it can hurt it a lot. Not just in terms of learning, but also just in terms of having fun. It's just not that fun, I don't think. I don't like just jumping up and dive kicking and then doing my grab just over and over and over and over again. I will fall asleep. It's not fun at all. But I feel like I have to do that again because the damage is so high. But back to learning about how to play fighting games. I think World Tour could have been a really good opportunity to teach people things. And it does teach you, it sort of eases you into it as you go. You know, at first it's like, okay, these are your buttons, and then you can use modern controls, but if you want, you can switch to classic. It sort of eases players into it a bit. You know, you get more special moves. So if you like to sort of master, quote unquote, your base kit of like, which is just your normals and like one special, as you keep playing the game, you'll get more specials and you'll expand your toolkit, and it will sort of like progress you naturally, which isn't bad. But there's no like, I think what could have been really nice if you fought like one enemy that was like, okay, this is the drive impact guy, and the only way to beat him, or not the only way, but like the main way to beat him is you have to drive impact his drive impact, and once you do that, he's toast. And it could have been a really good way to introduce new players, because that's who you're really targeting with the single player modes. You know, veterans are not going to really care about this mode that much. You're usually just targeting new players, right? It could have been a great way to introduce them to how the game works and make them better at the video game in turn, right? Because then, if they don't want to play World Tour anymore, they want to go and they want to fight against real people, they're going to find some asshole online who's just spamming drive impact. They're just going to be spamming drive impact. That's all they know how to do is use drive impact. And, you know, they're going to be like, oh, what do I do against this guy? And then they're going to have that ha-ha. They're gonna go, ha-ha. And you're like, I remember this from World Tour mode. And they're gonna drive impact him back and kick his ass, and it's gonna be the best moment ever. They're gonna be so happy. And I think that's a big missed opportunity because they don't really do that in World Tour mode. They kind of do a little bit. There's this mechanic that the enemies use where it's like if you hit them at a certain time, you get a big like counter. They'll like glow white, and if you hit them with a special move, they get stunned. And if you hit them normally, they take a lot of damage or whatever it is. And some enemies you have to like throw, and that's sort of introducing the idea, but I don't think it's prevalent enough to really like make players learn that much. And you don't necessarily have to do it. A lot of the time, you can just play the game normally. You don't even have to worry about the little like white outline thing that you have to hit them. You can just beat them up. You know, you don't have to engage with that. You can, but you don't have to. And I think it would have been better if they designed specific enemies to teach new players about a certain mechanic, idea, skill, something like that. Maybe there could be one guy that jumps at you a lot. You have to anti-air him. Maybe someone's throwing a lot. You gotta jump when they try to throw you, or you throw tech, something like that. Just to get people interested in the game itself and not in whatever World Tour mode is. Because World Tour mode is not how you play Street Fighter. It's not how you play Street Fighter at any level of the game. Because NPCs don't fight like people. And they can fight like people. So just make them fight like people, and then you get two things. You get people who are better at Street Fighter, and you get people who like Street Fighter, because Street Fighter is fun. I don't know if I'm missing something. It could be like on my end. I don't know if I've missed a mechanic. I don't know, like, I think there's like a gear enhancer thing. I don't know if I have to do that, and then I'll like even out and it'll feel normal. But even if I have missed a mechanic, I still don't think you should have to grind or equip a certain thing or whatever to power yourself up just to have an even playing field with the NPC. I think you should be doing similar damage the entire time. You know, it should even out more than it does at the level I'm at. It's really cool that they advertised it a lot, and I think it sold a lot of copies, I'm assuming. I don't really know, but it felt like when they're advertising it, it was like, oh my god, Street Fighter 6 is the first fighting game in a long time that is complete. It has everything you need. It has training mode. Looking at you, Tekken, you have training mode. We only have tutorials. I tried to play Tekken. They don't even have tutorials. I don't even know how to play the game. I got my ass beat, dude. Camera shut off. I think I'm gonna have to juke. If Street Fighter 6 is setting the standard for fighting games, since it's so popular, it's doing really well. And I wouldn't be surprised if other fighting game developers look at that and be like, okay, this is what we can be doing too. If 6 is setting the standard for what a fighting game should be and what a single player mode should be, I just wish they had put a little more time into making it fully realized because it kind of feels like a gimmick. But I would rather have it than not have it. But anyway, just some small things. Instead of like an arcade mode to like dish out the story of the game, there is an arcade mode, but it's mostly for like character backstories and sort of like where they are at the point in the game. I think World Tour is just kind of a lame way to tell the story. It's not Ryu versus Bison. It's it's fucking Darkuma versus Bison. I haven't finished the campaign. I don't know. Maybe Ryu shows up and saves the day or something like that. I have no idea. There's some group fights. Not some. There's a lot of group fights where multiple enemies will attack you. And it works pretty well. Surprisingly. They kind of figured out how to work it. But I think it's just really annoying and monotonous. And again, it takes away what's fun about Street Fighter, which is the one-on-one combat. For some reason, the gear appearance is really weird. It's like you can't. So let's say you have a hat and you have pants, a baseball hat. You want to use the beanie. This point doesn't make any sense. Who cares about this? Who fuck cares about this point? This point sucks. I'm not even gonna talk about it anymore. Small good things though. There's this bond thing you can do with the Street Fighter characters. They like teach you things, and then you are their student. And the more you use their moves and stuff, you get closer with them. And yeah, it sounds like I want to do nefarious things, but I think it's kind of cool. The mini games are cool. I did like a pizza one where you have to do like a shoryuken to make the slices and stuff. That was cool. I like the pizza mini game. There are other mini games that are probably fun. I haven't done a lot of them, but they're a cool little gimmick. The character customization, not just from making abominations or whatever you can dream of, but also the special moves. It was really fun. As you've probably seen already, my dive kick command grab Darkuma is very stupid. I would love to take him into online mode and beat people up. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe we'll do that if I'm having a bad day. Who knows? And punching the grandma in Chinatown is awesome. Play Street Fighter 6. It's really fun. The game is extremely well made. It's definitely worth your money. So buy it now. Go play it. Go do well. If you haven't played fighting games, it's a really good time to play fighting games now. So you should go play them. Because they're fun. And I think this game is a great time to get in, mostly because it's new and a lot of people are playing it, so there's going to be a lot of players. There's a lot of different skill ranges, so if you're really bad at getting the game, don't worry, because a lot of other people will be really bad at the game, and then eventually it'll get better. It's really fun. It's really cool. Go play it. Go buy now. That's about it. See ya. Bye-bye. You're broken. I don't know anymore outros. I'm not doing the donkey one again. I'm a big guy. I got a lot of muscles. I want to do nefarious things.